Hi, my name is Eddie and I'm just doing a video on how the body heals itself. So I've had a few examples of when I've had an injury, and over time my body seems to, over a long time, some of these injuries are quite extensive, but my body's managed to recover from them. So one of the first ones that I did was I broke a little bit of my Achilles heel here, and I actually can't remember which one now, but yeah, and there's when I did it, I was rushing down some steps trying to turn off a tap that was filling up a watering can, and so it was cold, and then I think I might have heard it go, but I'm not quite sure, I can't remember, it was a while ago. And anyway, it was incredibly painful. It wasn't the whole tendon, Achilles tendon, but it was like a good portion of it. It was pretty painful, but that was all right. I kept on working on it that day, and pretended it just never happened. And that was one way to deal with pain, is to have focus on something else. So I was just constantly just focusing on what I had to do that day as far as the work was on the client's property. So yeah, that's what I did. And then when I got home, I think it was still sore, probably, because it was a while ago, and I'm trying to remember. So yeah, I probably would have tried to concentrate on the pain's not a constant, even though you think it is. There's a moment there in between where there is no pain. So it's sort of like when you blink through the day, you don't even notice that your mind's actually keeping an image there, so you don't see darkness for too long. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. So at the end of doing the half snap of the tendon, I'll say it's this one here. I can't really tell now. Yeah, I had a size like that at the back here, and it was pretty sore to touch for a long time, and I just put the boots on nice and carefully. I had to work all the time. Well, I thought I had to work all the time. Didn't have time to get it fixed. Couldn't spend time off work. So yeah, I just used to massage it maybe once in a while, but it would get a bit sore, even with touching it for a long time, for a couple of years, I'd say. And then I sort of forgot about it, and then it was last year. I thought, because I didn't have the full range of movement. It was pretty good, but I thought it could have a little bit more, like the other side. So yeah, I started to do stretching, sort of like a stretching on something, stretching against, something, yeah, like that, and pushing down or whatever, and that really hurt for a couple of weeks. Like I did this about a year ago. An injury happened about 12 years ago, and anyway, with that massaging, that over the years, it all disappeared, that big knot that was there, and after that stretching episode, I thought, oh no, what have I done? Made it really aggravated. So it was sort of like 2 weeks of it's not feeling very good and having to massage it, but it all came good in the end. So and now I can't even tell which one it was. Like, I can't even tell. There's no lump, no nothing. So that was one thing with the Achilles heel. Like, if it had snapped totally, I'd have to, of course, go to the doctor because your foot gets a bit floppy. So yeah, and the other one was I was picking up a big rock. The client said, "Oh, I put these rocks down," and she was getting an elderly lady, and I was thinking, "Oh, if she can do it, I can do it." And I don't think she did it by herself, but anyway, I go and lift this big rock out of the ground, put it into the wheelbarrow, and I go, oh, I can feel my guts split. and then like just totally out of air, like it's sort of like all the air sucked out of you. It's like, oh no, that's not good. So I did light duties that day. Didn't tell the client, just kept on working, and then sort of ignored it. The pain wasn't too bad after a while. Might have been for a day or so, and that was a while ago. And then it was around the same time, about 10, 12 years ago. And then so I went to a doctor for something else. I can't remember, a flu or something, but he gave me a checkup and he says, oh, you got a hernia there. So and then when I came over to Australia, and that doctor said, oh, you don't need to operate. We're trying not to operate these days because the gauzes cause problems that they do the operation with. So over here I was going for a job, and you had to disclose things that were wrong with you. So I said I had a hernia, and then the doctor tried to look for it and couldn't find it, so he signed off that I don't have one anymore. So, and I've never felt it or anything like that. I remember a few years ago I pulled into a service station, and there was a guy loading up his car with these big rounds of timber, wood, that had been chainsawed into, big circles, because the tree out the front of the service station was chopped down. And I said, oh, I'll give you a hand, and you can give me a hand. And because they look pretty heavy. And I said, oh, I've got a hernia. And he goes, oh, I'll show you mine if you show you yours. And I go, no, it's all right. No, I don't need to say. And there he is, lifting his shirt up in the forecourt of the service station. And I didn't really want to show him mine, and I didn't. So, yeah, it was really weird. But he had a really bad hernia. Like sometimes they're really bad, and they do need treatment. So, and I'll say that I'm not a doctor. Should always seek medical advice. But I'm just saying that in my experience, I've found that my body will heal itself if given a chance. So, and then I had a problem with my hip. So I was doing heavy work, a lot of wheel bearing, sort of labouring sort of work. It was for my own business. I was working hard. So I was wearing myself out a little bit, and also I'd walked on my knees for a while, and for a certain type of job, and then I've also dug trenches for another job, and then I had a job where I was a picker, like they're doing for Amazon, but for plants, and you jump off and jump on the tractor. And so anyway, with all the hard work, I went to I was starting to develop this limp. So I go to the doctor. Everyone had noticed it before I even noticed it. I didn't, because it happens over time. I found I couldn't get on a quad bike. That was the first big thing I noticed. A four-wheeler, just couldn't, it was really hard to get on. And one of the jobs where I was picking cabbage, I noticed my legs weren't straight. I wanted to go off the side a little bit. When I first started, they were in a direct line behind me. So I go to the doctor, and she gets me to walk in a straight line. I managed to walk in a straight line, and then I touch my toes, and then she goes, oh, I think it's all right. And I go, I don't think so, because it was locking up at night. This right hip was really like tight, and it would just lock up as I'm sleeping, and then you're sort of like stuck, and you sort of have to rock a bit and then move it. So that was not that much fun, and there's a little bit of pain too. I could only run 20 metres and feel all loose, and like it was going to get a bit loose, and then it would start really hurting. I'd sort of get it in the wrong spot. So I go to this doctor, and she goes, walk in a straight line. And so I do, and touch your toes, I do it, and she goes, you look all right. And I go, oh no, there is something wrong. And she goes, oh, let you go to the X-ray. Have an X-ray and we'll go from there. So go to the X-ray. It was on my 50th birthday actually, and then I go back to the doctor, and there's like a half page of things wrong with both my hips. The right one's really bad. Got arthritis in it. It's all worn on the top. There's no cartilage in it. And she's saying, "Oh, would you like pain relief?" And I go, "Oh, it's not too bad because I can control my own pain." And so I didn't get that, and she offered a solution of a big injection to put some sort of like lubrication into the joint, a special thing that they've got now. So I declined on that too because I'm not a big fan of needles. But anyway, I was thinking I probably need a hip replacement with this one. She didn't mention that, but anyway, I couldn't stop work because I needed the money. Well, I thought I needed the money, and so I kept on working, and then I decided I was going to grow a new hip some way. So it sounds really weird and crazy, but people would say, "Oh, what are you going to do with your hip?" No, I said I'm just going to grow a new one. So I'd read about tartaric acid. I'm not saying that it works or not, but at worst case scenario, it would act as a placebo because I wouldn't know if it worked or not. I just had a teaspoon of it in some water every couple of weeks. Oh, every 2 days, sorry. And I did this for like the next 3 years. So, or just when I thought about it. And I was also taking quite a high level of magnesium to keep all my muscles around my hips a bit loose so they wouldn't get cramped and tight. So those were the things I was doing, and I was getting people to give me a hand to lift heavy things because I could easily lift heavy things, but it was the next day I would find it really sore, and I still couldn't run. And then I did that for 3 years, and then I had an awakening, a spiritual awakening, and then I go, "Oh, actually my hips feels perfect. Well, as good as it could feel, It's pretty old. It's getting on a bit, hip. And now I can run. And like yesterday, went up to have a bushwalk, went for a wee, and then I thought I'd follow this dirt bike track up the hill, and then it petered out, and I didn't want to go back the same way, so I ended up bush bashing my way back down and almost getting lost, but found the way, which I couldn't have done earlier. But the thing with the spiritual awakening is every time I'd try and book a job, I'd have this sort of like real tension in the front of my head, and as soon as I walked away from it, my diary or whatever, go away, and then I'd go to it. So I got the impression that I should reduce my hours. And that's what I've done. So, that was sort of like a bit of a miracle for me. And the last thing was all those years of those muscles being tight. I've used EFT tapping. There's a girl on the YouTube, which I think if you look up why your hips have trauma, look for that one, and she's really good. And you just go like the sort of thing, and you say the words like to release the trauma of why your muscles were tight. So, because those muscles have been tight for a long time, so it allows everything to start moving a bit better. And the socket seems pretty good. I can still put my socks on where I couldn't before. So it's good. So it's got a pretty good. Like I couldn't do that before, It's pretty good. I could get it down to there. Usually I had to do it like underneath there before. So it's a lot better, and there's no pain there. So I'm really quite pleased with that. So but and this is another thing with pain. I think I mentioned like if you pick up a rock, and if like I got stung with a bull ant, they sort of really sting. The other day, and I was in the bushwalk bare feet, get stung by them, and I'm like limping because it's really sore, because it's like a hornet's nest has just been stood on, and it's only a single ant, but these things are like this big, and they got teeth like this, well, you know, like this. And yeah, so I had a rock from the river, and I had the intention, oh, I'm going to take this back, and I was just limping, and then as soon as I had that intention, the pain just like went from 80% to 10%, hardly noticed it, like I could have run on it. So yeah, it's amazing the power of the mind, and yeah, use it to your advantage. And so yeah, so what people say can't happen can happen, and I'm not a doctor, so I always seek medical advice. That's my disclaimer, and I'll end it there. And look after yourselves. That's the best thing you can do. As soon as you start treating yourself better, it gives your body a chance to heal. So yeah, so yeah, check out cutitoutcards.com. We've got a range of different cards for different you know, birthdays, whatever, and all you have to do is just print them out. I think they cost you know, $5 or something, and you get some free ones there. If you want free ones, you can just go there and get free ones. You don't have to sign up. So I'll keep doing the YouTube channels even if no one's buying them, but that's all right. But yeah, it's sort of like the price of a cup of coffee. So yeah, have a look. Some of them are quite quirky, so yeah, and there's a whole lot of you know, sayings to go into the cards as well. So yeah, have a look, and we'll see you next time.